everybody. I'm on a hike right now. I'm checking for tracks, and I have something going on today that's kind of cool. You know, in our world of fur trapping and hunting and fishing and everything, there's conservation, right? And we manage wild populations. In trapping, we trap abundant species, and we use them as a resource that's renewable. And we love the animals. We respect them. And at least from my perspective, there's no other sport where you get to learn more about the animal than trapping. I have been applied to a free class on forest and field conservation that's given by the New York DEC. And I was on a waiting list because generally they want to have politicians and people who make the decisions on preserving acres of forest in those classes so they can expose them to the reasons why. Then they called me yesterday and they said, hey, if you have time, there's an opening. So I'm heading out to meet the scientists and see what they have to say. It's like a 2.5 or 3 hour class that we will be in the field talking about everything from trees to plants to reptiles, amphibians, and lichens and everything. And also about endangered species and specific ecosystems that support habitat for them. Some indicator species like salamanders and stuff that, you know, are highly susceptible to changes in their environment, especially poisons. So yeah, I'm excited for it. If I can, I'll video a little bit and show you. If I can't, I'll probably hang out and give you a little wrap up of what that was like. And I think we got some babies, some baby chicks in here. The turkeys don't want to leave because she's got the little babies. They're tiny. I'm going to walk a little bit towards them and see what happens. See those little guys? I can barely see them in the ferns. That's pretty cool. Probably hatched within the week. See if I can get a better look right here. Come on, babies. There you go. All right. Wow, there's a lot of them. Must be from a few different hens. And because I got a couple of hens that went off this way. That was pretty cool to come along those hen turkeys and all the little baby turkeys. Hey, listen, I did go to the DEC class. It was about forest conservation and learning about forests. I'm sorry I wasn't able to video. I would like to share with you what I learned and why I'm doing this. If we're going to continue the tradition of fur harvest and trapping, obviously we need habitat for our wild fur bearers to live in. And that habitat basically needs to be around everywhere we live. And as populations grow and as things develop, more and more the habitats are encroached upon and species have a more difficult time making a living. Some, of course, are more adaptable than others. As we are the harvesters, we need to be on top of our game and understand how our wild places are being conserved and how to look into the future. So with that said, the one biggest thing that I learned today was about something called the Forest Condition Index. And I'll put up a slide here for you to see, but it's really pretty amazing. It identifies forest patches in 100 acres using the most recent land coverage data. So it estimates the condition of each forest patch relative to other patches in watersheds and using a variety of regional wide data. So this is pretty slick. This really does show you those deep dark purple areas are really healthy, top 1% forests. And then, as the colors get bluer and greener and yellow and orange and red, they're really going down in quality. And most of this has to do with human interference, roads and buildings and cutting off connections. All forests need connections of water and diverse habitats. What can we do about it? We can be aware, and we can be the ones out there witnessing the changes. You can talk to your local governments, your regional governments, your state governments about how to preserve and conserve wild places so that everyone has the freedom to harvest and hike and enjoy. Anyways, I don't want to bore you with all this, but I think it's part of being a responsible trapper. A lot of us do have private grounds, and some of us are trapping on public, and some of us are doing mixed. But in reality, whether it's private or public, they're all connected and they're all related to each other. We need to know how to advise the future so that we can save our tradition of fur trapping. Our fur bearers rely on healthy forest systems. I have a little bit of a crazy story this morning. It's the first time this ever happened for me. I had sold everything except I held on to that big Tom bobcat, which I put right in the freezer, wrapped up, and I did not skin because I had a deal with Taxidermy. And I had gotten in my mind that taxidermist did not want the bobcat anymore, just because it's not a high priority for them. In any case, I replied to a person on Facebook who was a beginner taxidermist who was really eager to get a big Tom bobcat to work on as part of their collection. And I got offered like a really good price and started to negotiate that. I feel terrible because I tried to check with the first taxidermist again. I didn't hear back from them, so I started to make the deal with the second one. We negotiated a price, really came out great. And at the last minute, the original taxidermist got back to me and said it's kind of like important that they get this bobcat. So that's what I'm doing today. I feel terrible. At least I made a relationship with another taxidermist that's up and coming and, looking to practice and get a good collection going. Any case, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to finally get that big Tom out of the freezer and run him to the local taxidermist. And just thought I'd share the story with you. It's kind of exciting to know that my harvest was actually that much wanted, and it tips me off to, like, in future seasons, I'm probably going to really be selective and hold some things off and, do some bargaining. And it's just another kind of cool side of what we do. This guy is so huge that he fills up my chest freezer. It's a big bobcat. And for anybody watching and critical on this, it probably should have double bagged him in here, but I was expecting to move him a lot quicker when I put him in. And honestly, this freezer has hardly been opened, so I don't think this bobcat is freezer burned or anything. He's really gorgeous. This week I'm heading to the Pennsylvania Trapping Convention, but I got a little work in the fur shed to do. Really, I shouldn't be showing you this, but it's a disaster. I'm gonna get it fixed up though. I picked up this fan for $3 at a yard sale, and that is gonna help dry my furs in the wintertime. But it's working great right now to kick some cool air into my big mess of a fur shed. So I'm gonna get in here and fix this place up. Okay, that's looking much better. It's still got a lot of traps to work on. Gonna boil those this summer, get them all dyed up and everything, and get them all sorted out. But at least I got everything cleaned up. This is my my 330s, and I opened up all the springs so they're not closed for the summer. You know, that'll supposedly help them keep their strength. So, yep, storing some of the winter stuff away. I think I'm gonna get the ATV in here next. Lots of wood to keep the fur shed warm. I'm at the Pennsylvania Trapping Convention, and Willie and I are camping here with the baby groundhogs. Right, Willie? These guys are driving him nuts. They're crawling all over this these cement dividers. Where'd they go? There they are. Willie can't stand it. I don't know what to do, buddy. They're very tame. So Willie and I are out here at the Pennsylvania Convention, the Rendezvous. It's my first time here. I already went through the whole schedule and wrote down what I'm gonna get to. Don't worry, Willie, those guys aren't gonna bother us. And there's a lot. What I'm looking forward to is going to the fur handling demos, some trapping demos, some seminars on lures, and seminars on cooking game, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff here. I have my little shopping list of things to get. Yes, guys, I will get the beaver rods. I already contacted Jeff Haggerty, and he'll have them here. It's like having muskrats, you know? They're just all around, eating the grass. Willie, how about tomorrow I get a couple traps and we see if we can get those guys? We'll get a couple traps here and we'll set them out. Oh shoot, we don't have a Pennsylvania trapping license. I don't know, with groundhogs, might be okay. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, I know. Hey, we got a great campsite here too. I'm on like, they call primitive camping. I'm just dry camping. And just solar is keeping me going. And it's so nice when you do this because you just got wide open space. Willie and I are out for a walk, and we saw all these beautiful hats and mittens. And then we met this young man.
Andrew Westerman.
And you're from New Hampshire?
Yep.
And you're a, what do you call yourself?
Westerman's Fur Products.
All right. It's right here, Westerman's Fur Products in New Hampshire.
Yep.
And how many trapping shows do you do?
I go around, I'll be at Herkimer, and I'll be down at the Nationals, and maybe at the New England one too. So
awesome. I definitely want to support you because I want to have some fur products like this too. My channel's called Trapper Snore, so
okay.
that stands for Sustainable, Natural, Organic, Renewable Resource.
Cool.
And you know, just trying to teach people like this is so much better. It's a you know, a forever gift.
Yeah.
Right? And what got you into it?
I don't know. I was interested in like the mountain man sort of, you know, genre, and watched movies like Jeremiah Johnson and stuff like that. And
yeah.
wanted to make my own coonskin cap, so I went out and started trapping, and I tried to tan some stuff myself and had moderate success, and then it kind of started from there, hand sewing, and then had some people interested and started selling stuff.
Awesome. Do you have a shop or anything up there in New Hampshire, or you?
I've got a website, westermansfurproducts.com.
Okay, so you ship.
Yep, and then I do sell some stuff out of a shop in Littleton. If you go to Sean Terhune's art gallery in Littleton.
Sorry, Willie's pulling me around here. I'm going to step on him now. I'm sorry, where was that?
Sean Terhune. It's an art gallery in Littleton. He sells my stuff as well.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Do you do just any like wall hangers, or you're always making something out of them?
Yeah, I don't really get much into the tan stuff. I really need as much fur as I can get to make stuff. So
yeah. In terms of all the things that you make, what percentage comes from the fur you trap yourselves?
Depends on the season. I just had a kid, and I just moved to New Hampshire, or just bought a house in New Hampshire, so I got pretty busy last year, but probably a quarter of it, something like that.
Yeah. And what kind of fur are you looking for the most? What's the big demand for?
This year I was trying to get skunks. I had a hard time trying to I caught a couple, and I'm trying to buy a couple, but pretty much everything. It's all the products I make. I use a variety of stuff. So
yeah,
whatever coyotes, kind of whatever the prices are low.
Yeah,
and that's what people avoid trapping. So that's always what I end up trying to find the most of.
Working with things that you can get at somewhat of a deal. Do you like follow the market as it goes, or do you have some trappers out there you have like a partnership with? And so?
There's a couple guys I've bought from a couple times, and then I'll sometimes if somebody wants some work done, like one guy last year, he had a bunch of beaver. I ended up taking all his beaver, and I made him a pair of mittens in return for that. So, yep.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we got to talk. Because I have your card now, but I'm looking for other places. I've, sold my furs the last few years at in the same ways, about 3 different ways. So what's this leather here on
That's buckskin.
Okay.
Yep, and then I use a polar fleece for the inside.
Yep.
With that removable snap there.
Yep, that's cool.
This is actually kind of interesting here. Oh, sorry. This is supposedly it's moose, but I bought it from a guy from Europe, and in Europe, they'll sometimes call elk moose or something. So I have no idea
really
what this ends up being here. Yeah, but it's got an insole on the inside for a little bit of extra cushion there.
Yeah.
And but yeah.
Oh, they're super nice. Is this actually fur?
Yeah, this is
beaver, or
yeah, it's
sheared beaver.
It's sheared beaver. I kind of found a way of doing it that makes it a little bit better than sometimes sheared beaver kind of has that 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think this is a little bit better than that. I found a cheap buzzer that
you sheared it yourself?
Yeah. I found a cheap buzzer that doesn't cut the under fur very well.
Huh.
So I ended up just it takes a little while, but
it seems a little more complicated of a sewing project.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. That's a special gift. On your sewing machine, how did you figure out what you wanted? And
I bought my sewing machine from a lady. She was getting older, and she lived she's from Connecticut, but it's a Bonus. It's probably about 100 years old.
Wow.
But it's a Model A machine. Now I have another one, a Bonus Model B, which is a little bit, it's better for beaver and black bear and thicker leather and stuff like that. So, I ended up getting a pretty good deal on it, and that's kind of what got me going. You
were like, just kind of looking around, and then when you found the deal, you just did
exactly.
it. Yep. Imagine it's a world of difference of working with your hands to having a machine like that.
Yeah.
Although you have to learn how to use the machine.
Yeah, the time, hand sewing is it's like probably 10 times as... They're really industrial machines.
Yeah.
So it does take... You can't be ham-fisted. You got to be...
Right.
You got to be somebody that can you know, have that attention to detail and that fine motor skill to do it.
Yeah.
But that being said, once you learn it, it's not that challenging.
Yeah. Did you learn from someone?
There's a handful of YouTube videos that were pretty helpful.
Yeah.
And then, but there's not a lot of information. So I guess that's another challenge of it. It's just that there's a lot of just little troubleshooting things you got to work through once in a while. I mean, I bought a used machine. You can get them brand new from Texo or whatever, and maybe not have as many problems. But
yeah.
So
with the used one, you might have to tinker with it a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, Chuck Bonas is the one that he's like the great grandson of the owner, the guy that invented the machine.
Really?
He's still around and he's pretty helpful. If you have a problem with it, you can take it to him or send it to him.
Wow.
And
where's he?
I think he lives in Florida. I'm not sure, but he's helped me out a couple times. And then there's a couple Facebook groups. There's a couple of YouTube videos that are pretty helpful for most of it is just, you know, knowing things like tension and you know, I mean, my machine, I had just a little piece of fuzz that ended up caught in one of the gears.
Yeah.
And it messed up that tension, and for a while there I was pulling hairs out trying to figure out what was going on.
Very cool. Well,
Thanks.
I'll give you my information too, and we'll stay in touch, and good luck at the show.
Yeah, thanks.
Not to listen to the differences in what one person shares with you and somebody else shares with you, because they're successful trappers or they probably aren't going to be on the demo thing here. And what I would encourage you to search for and ask yourself is, what are all these guys saying that is similar? Let me try and give you a couple examples. If you want to make a big catch, whether it's said or you just read between the lines, if you want to make a big catch, you got to go where there's a lot of animals. And if you live in southeast PA, fox population. Where I am in West Virginia, not only was it never really high populations, right now we're in extreme low. If you want to make a good catch, you got to get in the truck and go someplace. Okay? That's a commonality. All other things being equal, that's a given. You got to have animals to catch it. If you go muskrat trapping, what other species do you expect you might catch? A mink, yeah. If you go fox trapping, what other species would you expect? Maybe a coyote. What else? A raccoon. But we know that most of your catch is really what? Possums. That's right. You're the possum king, aren't you? Do you catch more mink when you are focusing on muskrats or when you focus on mink? When you focus on mink, even though there's fewer. If you want to catch fox, you catch more fox when you're focusing on fox. If you say, whoa, hold it, coons, you start focusing on coons, you're still going to catch a few fox, but you'll start catching more possums than coons. Right, yeah. You're on those possums, aren't you?
If you're saving glands, you can reach in there and grab a hold of that. If you can see that, I save all that. Just cut that out. Put it on your buddy's table. Get this other started to lay my knife down. If you don't, you're going to cut yourself. Try to make the least amount of moves as possible. If you have a number of fox to skin, there's the other gland. You can see it right there. Cut that out. Hop gland, so it is. I don't worry about meat on it, because I can get rid of that pretty quick. Back down to that tail. the zipper out. Or my stripper. On that square. Pull that out and then split the tail. Yeah, it's getting bad. It's been in the sun too long.
That's coming out of your head.
That's my fox, so it don't matter. It'll go in the trash can. I'm gonna just cut across here. I never turn my fox. I'm gonna put this one on like this. I put mine on fur out and I dry them that way. I don't never turn my fox. But I'm gonna put it on here just to show you what's going on. Just center it up. I got a little board over my tumbler. I tumble these fur side. I tumble them skin side first in corncob grit. I take them out of that. I got a clothes dryer that took a heating element, unhooked and wired it direct. Got a switch on the side. I would throw it in, turn it on for 10 minutes. I'll go ahead and skin another one. I usually put 3 in at a time. Then I turn them inside out and throw the fur side in another dryer. And it just makes that fur just perfect when you comb it out. Looks like you just come out of the field. Not a lot of pinning. I pin right here beside the tail, pull that down. Another one in that side, pull that down. Legs on the same side. Widen that out. Boy, that fox is really pulling that deep and out of the cord too long.
We see Sarah Gomez here, She Traps.
Yes, so we have a few new products this year. Old School is a new bait. It's a predator bait. It's got a very unique meat base to it with a unique smell. So new bait here. And then I have a couple new lures. So I got 2 ounce available for the first time because I feel like 1 ounce just isn't enough, and 4 ounce is just too much to carry.
Yeah.
So I got 2 ounce.
That's a good idea.
And a couple new lures. I've got feral. It's a bobcat gland. So we went to Texas and caught 140 bobcats.
I saw that.
Yes. So we used a fresh bobcat gland in this. And then I have a new beaver lure, high water. It does not have caster, so if you have a difficult beaver to catch that you don't want to use caster for, high water is a new one. So yeah. And then the fish, I have a Fisher lure out that came out that I tested in New York with Chappie. I went Fisher trapping.
It's
very Fisher. So
Yeah.
anyway, a few new things at the booth and
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. Have a great show.
Thanks.
Well, here's the proof. I did get the beaver rods. These are the 8-footers. Dozen here, half a dozen, and I got the hardware. Thanks so much for following along. This is kind of ridiculous, but I just had root canal, so I can hardly speak. But we're gonna stop this one here. Please subscribe, like, if you like following along in the off-season fur trapping experience. Then thank you very much. You know, I love it. I love thinking about it all year and getting ready. That forest, I can't even say the word, that forest condition index is very interesting. I think that I'm going to take my Onyx maps and sort of compare in my territories and just, you know, be a witness to how nature should be. And then in terms of the Pennsylvania Rendezvous Convention, that was only the first day. I saw so many wonderful videos and met so many cool people that I'm going to keep that going for the next episode. And you're going to see a friend of mine skin a beaver in less than 3 minutes. So stay tuned. Catch me on the next one. I'll be working on editing that. And everybody have a great week and stay cool. Oh, yeah. And remember, trappers snore. Sustainable, natural, organic, and renewable resource.